Hi everybody, my name is Tony and I'm with ApronsOn. Let me just tell you a little bit about ApronsOn for those of you that are not familiar with ApronsOn. First of all, the earlier part of last year, before the pandemic, I started cooking classes for beginners. And like I said, for beginners, for those that are not comfortable in the kitchen, those that are newly married, people that you don't have to be young and not know what to do in the kitchen. It was just basically for beginners that are just not comfortable in the kitchen. Uh, I was doing groups of four here in my home, in my kitchen, teaching people the fundamentals of cooking and how it can be fun, yet a challenge, but very fun, interesting, where you enjoy being in your kitchen and cooking for your family. And once the pandemic hit, it kind of put a halt on everything, and I've had so many outpours of when are we going to get started back again. I'm interested in taking one of the classes. What I would do, I have a Facebook account under ApronsOn. Feel free to go in and check it out just to see just what we were doing as far as the classes. So you're familiar with everything that I teach. I just decided to go online with the classes until everything kind of boils down with the pandemic, and I'm hoping that I can continue to stay online to teach those that just feel comfortable following along with me in their home rather than coming out. They want to just follow along there at their home, that's fine. So I'm going to continue the online classes as well. What I do is I break it down into segments of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I just teach you different things, different recipes to follow as far as making meals for your family, for yourself, for small gatherings, cookouts. I'm just teaching you the fundamentals, and I want you to do it with me and have fun. What I usually do during my classes here, like I said, it's groups of, actually there's 4 people, and we break down into groups of 2. It's a 3-day course. You tell me which course you're interested in, and from there I build the menu. And you come in the very first day, I go through the entire meal that I've planned, that I want you to learn to cook. You can also make suggestions on what you're interested in cooking, but most often, I kind of start you out with baby steps on what's an easier plan to follow as far as your menus. I do the cooking the first day. I show you how it's done. You can ask questions of me, of whatever it is that I'm cooking. You ask questions, you follow along, you come back the next day, you put your apron on, and you break down into your groups of 2. And you get busy and you do and prepare the same meal that I prepared the day before. If you have questions during that time, I help, I'll assist you, what have you, but I kind of like for my classes for everybody to be independent that second day. The third day you come back and we discuss, and you tell me what you thought you could have done better in preparing your meal, and any questions that you have on me and have of me, and then everybody, we just kind of sit back and relax, have coffee, talk about it, what you're not comfortable with, and anything that you feel that you have questions on, that you thought maybe I didn't touch on enough, or what have you. I'm going to be doing the same thing online for you. Today I'm going to be doing something very simple. I want you to tune in every week, every Monday. Please, please tune in. You can learn a lot and have fun with me right here online. And once again, I will be starting up my classes. I'm going to wait probably until mid-June, July for the hands-on classes. And once again, you can check all that out at ApronsOn. It's just ApronsOn, and that's on Facebook, and it gives you all the information that you need there on that site. as far as just exactly how to sign up. And I will keep you posted when I open up everything online for you to sign up for the hands-on courses here in my kitchen. And for those that, like I said, that feel like they just don't want to come out, they want to stay home, they feel more comfortable in their own home, they don't want to be in front of anybody, they don't want to be in a group of two, they just don't feel comfortable with it, that's fine, because I'm going to continue once again the online cooking, beginner cooking classes. Today what I want to do is just do something very simple. It's a spice that I think everybody needs in their kitchen. It's just a must-have spice. You can use it as a dry rub on your meats for seasoning. You can add it to chili, you can add it to spaghetti, you can just add it basically to tomatoey dishes, just basically anything that you want to add it to. And so I'm just going to show you today. We're going to do a lot of this and mixing up spices. I'm not really gung-ho about buying a lot of spices. Spices can be very expensive for those that are just newly married, those with newborns, small children, and they're saying, well, gee, these spices are just so expensive and I just can't cook all this different stuff because I just don't have the spices to cook these things. So I'm going to be teaching you how to mix up your own spices in your kitchen where you have them, and you can just put them in a jar. You can pick up these jars any place. You can pick them up at Walmart. Just a small mason jar. You can get them even smaller. I just happen to have the larger one, but they sell them much smaller than this. And the spices that we make here, you can just put them in a mason jar. You can put them in a plastic container, whatever you have available. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy anything, but these are available at your Walmart stores, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and they do sell them smaller, but in the same sense, once again, you can use small plastic containers, whatever you have available there at your home. The spice today that I'm going to do is adobe. The adobe spice. I just think it's a must-have for every kitchen, and I feel like it's a must-have for every kitchen because you can use this spice. It's a Latin spice, but you can use it in your kitchen for just about anything because I just think it has a fantastic, outstanding taste. You can add little different things to it to spice it up the way you want it to taste. But I'm just going to give you the main ingredients. I love smoked paprika, so I usually add smoked paprika to just about anything that I'm cooking. And it's just a taste that I have, that I love, that I enjoy in my food. I just think it just really spices things up. But the adobe it's just a good spice to have. So I'm just going to show you, it's very simple. I'm going to show you how to make it where you'll have that with your basics, with your salts and your peppers. The adobe is just a spice to have. It's a must-have in your kitchen. And I'm just going to show you here what to do because it's so very simple. And all you need is your measuring spoons. That's all you need to get out is a measuring spoon. And this is just a little small bowl that we're going to add all of our spices to. And then you're going to get out your spices, some salt. It doesn't matter what brand the salt is. It doesn't matter. It's what you have in your kitchen is what you need. I'm going to sit down so you can see me better. Then you just need some garlic powder. Any brand, it doesn't matter. I don't know how many people are really familiar with this particular spice, but it's called ground turmeric. And you'll need some of that. Oregano leaves, and preferably the ground. If you don't have the ground ones, if you actually just have the oregano leaf, you can put it in a little small blender and blend them up where they crunch up. And then some ground black pepper is all you need. And I'm just going to set this aside over here. And what we're going to start with is 2 tablespoons of your good old salt. So you'll just look on your thing and you'll find your tablespoon. You're not going to see one that says 2 tablespoons. Your little measuring spoons, it's going to say 1 tablespoon, so you need 2 tablespoons. And you're just going to take the salt and pour it in. Just like that. Now the recipe calls, and then I'm going to be tweaking things, and as we go along week to week to week, you're going to see that I'm tweaking. And it's just basically what your preference is. It really is. I don't need a lot of salt. I don't eat a lot of salt. So rather than to use, and it depends on what your taste buds are, I don't use a lot of salt. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of your salt. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. I think that's plenty. Then I'm just going to pour it here in my bowl. And then 1 tablespoon of your garlic powder. So we're going to take that, and rather than using 1 tablespoon of the garlic, I think I want to cut mine down to 1 teaspoon rather than a tablespoon. So let's do that. Let's just do 1 teaspoon. Rather, the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon. We're going to do 1 teaspoon. And we're just going to pour that in on top of the salt. And then it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of the ground turmeric. So we'll look for the 1/2 teaspoon. And rather than to use 1/2 teaspoon, I just want just enough to taste. I'm not real crazy about ground turmeric. But it's a must-have for you. You have to use it in your adobe seasoning. So I just put mine down to 1/4, and I'm going to add the 1/4 in. And then like I said, the actual recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. I did 1/4, okay, with that. And then the recipe calls for the oregano for 1/4, and we're going to go ahead and use 1/4 for the oregano. So we'll stick in the 1/4. That's 1/4. And we're just going to put that right on top of everything else. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, but I'm not going to fill it all the way up. And we're just going to pour that in there. Now, I'm not real sure what you have in your kitchen, but there's a little mixer, and it kind of grounds things up for you, and it's just yay big, and I'm going to show it to you next week. I'll have it out and show it to you. You can take this mixture and just pour it in your little mixer. It's a little electric mixer. Pour this in there and grind it up real good. But today, we'll just stir this up. We're just going to stir this up really good. I just want to show you this. All I'm doing is I'm just stirring it up. I'm just mixing this up. You can stick your finger in there and kind of taste it and see what you think that you would like more of. That's what you have to do in the kitchen. Is just kind of stick your finger in things, taste it, and see what you want more of, what flavor you want more of. And of course, usually what I would do is add my paprika to this, my smoked paprika, because I like smoked paprika and I use it almost in anything. And I would add that, and I would probably add 1/4 teaspoon of my paprika to this. And of course the smoked paprika, and it depends what your taste is. Maybe you just like the plain paprika, but I like the smoked. I think it just has an awesome taste. And what I'm doing is just kind of grinding this up real good, because the turmeric tends to have, I don't know, little finer, little round pieces in it. And you just have to really stir it up. But like I said, if you have one of those little electric mixers, like I said, I'll show it to you next week. I'll have it out. You can just pour all your spices for mixing, what you're mixing, what spice you're making, and pour it all in there. And just to make sure that everything is mixed well. But this is just fine for me. I just want you to see it. That's the way it looks. And then you can just take it and pour it. In a little jar. Like I said, it can be a plastic container, it can be anything. And I'm just going to take this. And I was low on it. You know, and you can double your recipes, and I'm going to show you later down the road how to double. When people say, well, you double your recipe to this, and you're like, well, you know, gee, what does that mean to double my recipe? I'm going to show you all of that. But I just want to thank you for joining me. I just wanted to do a little something today, and I thought we would start, like I said, with the spice of creating our own spice, our own adobe spice, because you're going to find we're going to use the adobe spice a lot here in the kitchen at ApronsOn. Okay, I just love it. I just think it has a great taste. It puts a real twist to a lot of different foods. It just funks it up, and I like that. So, you know, but it's just strictly your choice on what spice you like, and we're going to be doing a whole lot more spices. Where, you know, you see these spices and you're like, gee, they want $9.98 for the spice. Well, we're going to create spice right here at ApronsOn. Next Monday, we're going to be doing the good old hamburger, which we're going to turn it into a cheeseburger because I like cheese. I'm a cheese lover. So we're going to do a cheeseburger. So you want to be prepared, have your hamburger available, some salt and some pepper. That's all you need. You can get the 80-20 ground beef. It doesn't have to be that expensive, and I prefer the 80-20, and I'm going to show you next week why I prefer that. So make sure that you tune in next week, and we're going to do a good old juicy hamburger, and I'll do something else on the side, maybe just with some chips. You know, if you like, you can buy a hamburger bun, whatever type of hamburger bun you had, and you can just build it right along with me. But I'm going to show you what makes a hamburger. When you buy it, when you get a hamburger, you want it juicy. You go out someplace to eat, you say, you know, you want your hamburger juicy, you don't want it dry. I'm going to show you how to create the perfect cheeseburger, and it's going to be juicy. And with Memorial Day coming up, I think that'll be the ideal thing. Like I said, please keep in contact with me. Tell me anything that you might want to discuss. Feel free. Again, my name is Tony. I am ApronsOn. So put your apron on and join me. And I'll be back again next Monday, and we'll be creating the ultimate cheeseburger. I really appreciate all of your time. Please go to ApronsOn on Facebook so you can learn more about the beginner cooking classes. And like I said, I'm doing a lot of them online, just very basic things that you can create a meal for with your family. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Love you. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you. Get the coffee pot ready, the teapot, and get ready so we can make the ultimate cheeseburger. Have a great, blessed day. Bye-bye.